Welcome to Just Hair Me Out, a podcast about love, life, and hair. I'm Barbara. I've spent over 38,000 hours coloring hair.
Hi, I'm Demetra, and I've spent over 1,000 weeks with scissors in my hands.
With 50 clients a week in our chairs and 22 years on our feet, doing hair is not our hobby, it's our hustle. We've navigated salon politics and then opened salon suites of our own in 2020. We choose dogs over kids, skinny marks over beer, and we've only fired 3 clients. Each. Welcome back to Just Hair Me Out.
Welcome.
Today we are talking about brushes and blow dryers, like what you should be using at home, what we love, all the ins and outs. But Demetra, I wanted to start by telling you a funny story.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, you know how like when you work in a regular salon, it depends on the salon and the work environment, but you can go through front desk people and assistants, like shampoo people, really fast. It's kind of like a revolving door. Well, this was happening a lot during this period of time. And we got this young lady in, and she was very green. She hadn't really been washing at a different salon or anything. And I think she had just finished beauty school. Anyhow, so I was on the floor. I wasn't, anywhere near that. But one of the head assistants was tasked with teaching her the ins and outs of like how to shampoo and blow dry properly for those color finishes. And so the head assistant had the new girl, wash the head assistant's hair. So like wash her hair and blow dry it, and so that she could like give her tips and stuff along the way. And when they got to blow drying, this girl looked so nervous. So nervous. I wasn't like watching too much because I also didn't want to make her more nervous. And so she was using a kind of busted blow dryer. And when she was blow drying the head assistant's hair, some of the hair got caught in the back of the blow dryer. That can happen if you don't have a vent on the back of your blow dryer.
Right.
I'm sorry, a vent cover. And so it sucked up the hair, and often you can't get the hair out, So they tried for like 15 minutes. A little bit of hair was cut. It was kind of dramatic. It was like a wrestling match with a blow dryer. And this girl was so upset. She was so embarrassed. And even though, I got to give her credit, this head assistant, even though she was probably devastated because she had this long, beautiful hair, and then a section of it was shorter, she said, "It's fine. It's no big deal. We'll talk about it." And the girl said she needed to go on lunch. She said, "I need to go take a lunch and like calm down." She never came back.
Oh, wow.
I know. And if I don't even recall her name because it was like a day or two. But anyway, nobody cared that much. You could have come back if you're out there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not like she was yelled at. I mean, she was so nice. I say, it's okay. We'll talk about it. Like,
it's happened to a lot of us at some point or another.
Oh, yeah. But see, that's why when people are like, oh, beauty school dropout, perfect example. That girl was probably just devastated. It takes one thing to just, walk away from the industry altogether.
Yeah. So ever since that happened, though, like nobody wishes her ill will or talks bad about her. But I will say for the next several years, anytime someone had like a difficult client or a bad situation happening, they'd say, "You know what? I'm going to go on lunch." And everyone would have a giggle because we're like, yeah.
I'm going to go on lunch. I love it.
Going on lunch. It's code for I'm never coming back. All right. So when I was coming up, I loved Denman brushes and Solanos. And times have changed. I think a Solano is okay, but at a certain point, they must have sold to somebody or they're using cheaper product. I don't know. But things aren't what they used to be. And now it's such a big deal having, Dyson and Shark are making the blow dryers. And I know, Demetra, you're a big Dyson fan, yeah?
I am. I love my Dyson. As soon as it came out, I got the first one. I wasn't sure about it because it was different, and then I fell in love within like a month. It took about a month, and now I just continue to just use my Dyson. I love the Dyson. I'm able to get fullness, super straight, good control. It's very quiet. I can actually hear clients when I'm blow drying them. There's a lot of pluses to it. So I'm a big fan of the Dyson. I like it a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're so pretty.
Yeah. Who would have thought of a dryer being pretty? But okay, yeah, they are pretty. They're nice. They're
Oh
pretty
my
looking.
gosh.
Yeah.
You just made me think of something.
What?
Once within the first like few months of me working in a salon,
Mm-hmm.
I washed someone's hair, and I know sometimes like she was in all the time getting her color done, and sometimes she was like just busy with work and she would go with her hair wet. So I
Mm-hmm.
washed her hair, and then I would just, was like frazzled, and I asked her if she wanted a blowjob. Have you ever done that?
Yes, a couple of times. And I mean, I've even also told people, I'm like, oh yeah, I do the husband, and I don't mean I'm doing her husband, but I'm like, people ask me, oh, like, do you know the whole family? I'd be like, yeah, I do the kids, I do the husband, and you don't
Mm,
realize how that comes off, and then you're like, oh wait, I mean, I'm not actually doing them.
right.
Mm,
Figurative.
right.
Um, okay, but I wanted to say those Denmans were awesome, especially back in the day. Those became so famous from Vidal Sassoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
I still have my Denman from probably 20 years ago, my very first one I bought. And it's very interesting because I rarely use it. It still looks brand new, but I love it, but yet I barely use it. It's like the weirdest thing. I don't know.
well, I love them for real shorter hairstyles.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of how I learned. Um, but I looked it up because I was so curious. I was wondering when they started, and they started
Mm.
making them. There's a guy named John Denman Dean in the 1930s. So,
Really?
and the Denman was the first brush to use nylon in the pins. Isn't that
Oh,
interesting?
that is very interesting. Wow, 1930s. I mean, we're almost going on to a whole, wow, 100 years.
Yeah. And
Wow.
then when Vidal Sassoon became a big deal, he was like huge into the Denman brushes for
Mm-hmm.
those, you know, cut, wash, and wear situations and styling that shorter hair.
Yeah, you know what I really like actually is the wet brushes for like just for detangling, personal use, even in the salon. I love to brush someone's hair with it. Not only does it feel great on the scalp, but you have to get the one, the flexible one. I don't know which one it is. I'd have to look it up and tell you guys maybe on a different episode which one I like. But I think it's very important to brush your hair before you shampoo it because people don't know that our hair, when it's wet, it also is more fragile by 20%. So you can break it more easily when it's wet because
Mm.
it's more fragile and it stretches by 20%. That's why you have to take that into consideration when you're giving a haircut to someone. The hair, when it's dry, will shrink up by 20%.
Yes, which is why everyone
Hmm.
that trims their bangs at home end up with the shorter bangs, right?
Right. That's another, yeah.
Because you think you cut it when it's wet and they're here, they're going to end up here.
Right.
If you're just listening, I was pointing to my forehead.
Oh.
Um, but anyway, the point of all this is like these tools are not, I mean, they're created so well now, and I think it's just a shame to use a bad one or one that's like a brush or a comb that's just plastic. Like as Demetra said, these wet brushes are meant to have really bendy bristles or pins, and they don't rip your hair at all. And you can use them on your dry hair to detangle. You
Mm-hmm.
just don't want to put heat on them because they're meant to be so flexible as not to rip your hair, but they're probably going to melt if you put really really hot air on them, such as from the blow dryer.
Right. So they're not meant to be used as a styling brush with heat. It's meant to be used prior to, brush out tangles when the hair is dry or wet, right? Hence a wet brush. And the reason why they call it wet brush is because it's supposed to be very gentle on your hair when it's in its most fragile state.
Yes, vulnerable
Right.
hair. So, just back to the hair blowers one more time. Just because people are always asking me stuff about like where should I buy my blower dryer, what brand, this and that. And
Hmm.
and I agree with Dimitri, you can't go wrong with the Dyson. Sometimes it can be a little out of somebody's price range. Um,
Yes, they are expensive. Yes.
and they have such cool attachments.
Hmm.
Personally, I find that most of the attachments are helpful for you at home, but not for us. Like, I wouldn't use them.
Right. Me either. I don't use them. I actually have to say the Dyson makes a great diffuser. So if you have curly hair, I love the diffuser and the little like pick thing. I use that one a lot of my clients, and I literally only use like one or two nozzles. I don't use all the other stuff, but it's good for personal use. I agree.
So, and let's just talk about for a second, because I know Dyson has this, of course, this ionic technology. But you want to get a blow dryer that has ionic technology, and a lot of good ones do now. And that takes the static out of your hair and also makes your hair shinier and dry faster.
Hmm.
So it's basically creating a bunch of negative ions toward your hair. Like basically the water is being repelled out of your hair rather than boiled out of your hair by heat.
Right. Which that's how it is a safer blowout and less damaging to your hair. So when people say, "Oh, how can a blow dryer actually, be good for my hair?" Well, that's one of the reasons right there.
Yes. Also, the anti-static is what's really important here because it's going to get rid of frizz or help get rid of frizz. So that's why you're going to see labels that say carbon or ceramic or tourmaline or ionic technology. So those four things. So you want your brushes and combs to be made of carbon so that they won't melt with heat, and they also will take the static out of your hair when you're pulling it through. Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
And I got to tell you guys, my favorite game changer of all time are Ergo brushes.
Love the Ergo brushes. Wow, love them.
So I found out about these probably maybe almost 10 years ago, but I'm telling you, it is the most amazing brush. And I've started using the Ergo blow dryer like just at home on my own hair. You can't really go wrong with their products. So they make one type of flat iron. It's not like it's the be all end all. I'm just saying, once you know a company uses really, really good quality products and puts the science in, you don't have to get too stressed out about, oh, let me see if this blow dryer has ceramic in it, or all these little things. But so these Ergo brushes have um, ceramic barrels, and they're longer. Oh, I have one. So it's a longer than a normal one, and so it can take more hair at once. Don't laugh at me, Demetra. And then the bristles are made with tourmaline. So basically, it's a big deal when you can get a brush that will be ceramic, so that when you hit it with the heat of a blow dryer, that the heat distributes evenly. And also, when it's coated with tourmaline, then it will help dry your hair faster. And like tourmaline actually is another source of negative ions
Hmm.
to dry your hair faster. So
Right.
anyway,
So, and when you're able to dry your hair faster, that means you're putting less heat to it. You're spending less time putting heat to it, which keeps your hair in a healthier state.
exactly, exactly. I had a hairstylist tell me once that you shouldn't, at home anyway, put heat on your hair more than 350 degrees, which is how you bake cookies.
Hmm.
But anyway, but the brushes that are meant to distribute the heat evenly won't let it get too hot in one spot and burn your hair. So all these little things add up, and I'm telling you, I I don't have to work that hard at blow drying anymore. It just like smooths the hair. It's kind of magic.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what the proper tools and hair products will do for your hair. So, when you're looking for a specific style it is important to listen to your stylist or colorist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have good ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And anyway, we have a affiliate program now with Ergo where you can get 15% off of your Ergo purchase. So if you go to the ergostyling.com and you use the promo code JHMO, and you will get 15% off.
Wow, that's great. That is so awesome. There's also the Ergo, a lot of my clients have been liking the sensitive scalp ones as well, which is really good too. The brushes
Yes.
from them.
The regular product which is what I use, is all black, and then the gentle version is a pink barrel
Mm-hmm.
with black
Right.
bristles. So the bristles are like pretty strong and pokey, but once you hit them with heat, they get more flexible and bend.
Mm-hmm. Which
But
is really nice. Yeah. So don't get scared. Like if you get the brush, especially the black one, the regular one, it may seem that it's very strong and might hurt your scalp, but it doesn't. Like I said, once you hit the heat to it, it's actually pretty flexible.
yeah. Anyhow, if you're going to go shopping, if your hair is chin length or longer, I love the Ergo 53. Is the round brush. This size is what I feel like most people use. But anyway,
do you know what that size 53 in diameter, what that comes out to? Is that like, would that be like a 2.5 inch or?
it's a 2 inch.
It's a 2 inch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll probably get more into that sort of stuff when we want to do some videos on hairstyling tips for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to put this out there that, and especially for holidays, you know, if you're getting gifts for people, I'm telling you, I have sold so many, probably 100 of these Ergo brushes, and everybody loves them.
Yeah, I literally switched over everything to the Ergo. And that's interesting you say that, because I think I probably came across the Ergo about 8 years ago, and I just didn't understand. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, the longer barrel, whatever, you know, thinking like that was the big hype of it. And I never really used them. I'm like, yeah, I used them before. They're nice. I had the paddle brush or whatever. And then Barbara reintroduced me to them again. And I was like, I have been missing out. The amount of hair I could get in that barrel is amazing, you know?
Okay, now I got to tell you something, and you can tell me later if you want me to cut it out.
Oh, okay, cool.
I just think this is so interesting, and people don't know about it. This is a regular flat brush, and if you hold it vertical, how the pins all line up, it's going to like detangle. Whereas if you hold it this way, they're not in a straight line, and this is how you grab onto hair and get tension. Does that make sense? So if you're using a brush perpendicular to the head or parallel to the head.
Like, why are you so good with all this crazy knowledge? Like, how,
because I'm a nerd. Look. If you have knots, you want to go like this.
She's a nerd. I love it. She's so cute.
I love nerds.
I be knowing this information. I'm this, but you know, hold on, wait a second. In my defense, I'm going to say it's very interesting you say that, because when I'm getting knots out of the hair, I go to my paddle brush and I do use it vertically.
See, you just didn't know why you did that.
Yeah, maybe I forgot, because I've been doing hair for so long. I forgot the reasoning why. I'm sure I knew. Here
we go. Tension, detangle, tension. Okay.
You little stinker. I'm surprised I didn't get scared right now. I'm a scaredy cat. Oh, you gave her a kiss, little sweetie. You know, I got my bitch in the back room. I'll go get her right now. Don't even. You're not the only one.
Yours is sweeter. Yours is sweeter.
I don't know.
This girl has seen some shit. She's been in the suit. She's been in the suitcase.
Okay, hold on, wait though. I do have a really funny story about like mannequin heads.
Yeah.
So I used to also teach, you know, back in the day or whatever. So I would always have like mannequin heads in my trunk, my car, just throw them in there. And I remember one day, I think we were leaving the grocery stores with my sister, and I had opened the trunk, and this older man was, you know, obviously walking by with his car. Oh my God, I feel so bad. This was not done intentionally. He was probably in his 80s. He almost had a heart attack when I opened my trunk and saw that head there. Literally, I mean, he was like, you know, it was this. I know, but then like after, he was okay. And like, I like picked it up. I was like, oh, it's just a mat, we laughed about it, but I'm horrible. I left it in my trunk just to fuck with people and scare people. Yeah. All the time. After that, it was funny to me, and I have to tell you, people really do stare into your trunk when they're walking by and you open your trunk. People are nosy.
Oh, we should do this. We should film this, Demetra. We could because you know how now you can do that. You can be standing quite far away and open your trunk.
Right. Oh my God. We should put some mannequin heads in and just film people and see their reaction.
Yes. And we could also do kind of like a science experiment, like do it when people are coming out of like Nordstrom's versus Walmart.
Well, I mean, okay, I hate to even say this, people, but we already know what the reaction's going to be. The Walmart people are going to be punching that bitch or drop kicking it. And the people at Nordstrom's are probably going to run and reach for the phone and call 911. I'm just saying, I said it first. That is going to be my census on that. Okay. We're doing it. Definitely. I love science projects.
All right.
So I'm kind of nerdy too, Barbara. I'm just saying.
Good. I think nerds are awesome.
I love nerds.
Me too. Me too.
I love nerdy people.
If you peaked in high school, no. Anyhow,
right.
So we will delve more into this topic when we are doing some like demonstrations how to blow dry your hair at home. So look for that coming in the future. And in the meantime, get yourself some awesome styling tools, and can't go wrong with Ergo.
Love Ergo.
Yes, but look for this ionic technology in any flat iron, blow dryer you use. Really important.
Yes.
All right. We will see you later.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe or follow. And please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Lastly, follow us on social media for clips of past and future episodes. All our accounts are listed in the show notes below. Thanks so much for listening.